On this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq, service members tell us what it takes to serve in Iraq for their country's independence. And take a break at a local bazaar. Don't miss these stories and more on today's FJI. Hello, I'm Air Force Sergeant Braden Smith. Welcome to this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq. Service members consistently show courage and commitment as they step up to serve their country in the Middle East. They not only serve to help Iraqis with their own independence, they fight to preserve America's freedom too. Petty Officer Chris Newsom takes us to a ceremony in Baghdad as more than 1,000 service members reinforce their commitment on our nation's Independence Day.
More than 1,000 military members re-enlisted on July 4th. General David Petraeus, Commanding General, Multinational Force Iraq, led them in their re-enlistment oath. Re-enlistees say they feel honored about being able to re-up on the day of our nation's independence.
I was honored to have General re-enlist us. I'm honored to have my shipmates here with me, and been a great trip here to Baghdad.
Many other military members felt the same way. They talked about what kind of impact it would have on their memories of their time in Iraq.
It's a wonderful thing actually to experience this for the first time, this being my first enlistment, and to have this wonderful experience with all these people, all these different branches of service, Marines, Army, Air Force, and Navy.
I'm truly honored. I've never been re-enlisted by a four-star general, and today has really made my career. I've been in for 11 years, and this has really made my day.
After the ceremony, the re-enlistees went over to the local BX, where AFES and their affiliates honored their re-enlistment. They donated merchandise and presented it to the military members who re-enlisted. What also made the event significant was the National Guard. There was at least one member from each state who re-enlisted during the ceremony. Petty Officer Chris Newsom, Baghdad.
While many re-upped on the 4th, for others, it was a time to reflect on what the 4th of July means to them while serving in Iraq.
What it means to me to be over in Iraq during the 4th of July is just that I'm glad that I can serve over here and help keep those freedoms that we have and help another country have theirs.
And what it means to serve my country on the 4th of July means a step towards democracy for the country of Iraq, and also the freedom that we instill in the United States.
What it means to me to be a Marine on the 4th of July out here in TQ, Iraq, is for the fact that I'm serving my country very proudly, and I hope my kids can look up to me and be very proud of what I've done out here.
What it means to serve during the 4th of July is to let Americans know that our customs, courtesies, and traditions follow us wherever we go.
Serving on the 4th of July means a lot to me because all Americans present and future can enjoy the freedoms that our service members have and are fighting for.
It means a lot to me knowing that our sacrifice out here is keeping other families safe and secure and continuing our freedom.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to serve my country during this time. What we're doing out here is in essence what our founding fathers did for us many years ago. I'm proud to be a part of history in the making and helping these Iraqis gain their independence and fight terror.
Being out in Iraq and serving my country on the 4th of July means the world to me, because while I may not be able to be home with my friends and family and celebrate with them, I'm out here with my fellow Americans helping the Iraqis gain their own independence and enjoy the same freedoms we do back home. So thank you, happy Independence Day, America, and thank you for the support.
Coming up, taking a break to unwind at an Independence Day Bazaar.
Here's your raid report. Iraqi Special Operations Forces and Iraqi Army soldiers detained 8 suspected criminals and killed a suicide bomber in the Nineveh province. 7 of the suspects make up a cell that reportedly uses intimidation to silence local Iraqis. Iraqi Army soldiers recovered a cache near Janabi village. The cache included mortar rounds, various explosives, and improvised explosive device making materials. Iraqi Special Operations Forces captured 3 suspected terrorists and 1 special groups criminal around central Iraq. One of the suspected terrorists is an Al-Qaeda in Iraq deputy accused of 2 attacks against coalition forces. U.S. soldiers and Iraqi security forces seized weapons caches as they continued operations to increase security in Baghdad. Caches contain machine guns, mortar rounds, and IEDs. And that's your raid report. I'm Petty Officer Nathan Gomez.
Here are the latest Operation Iraqi Freedom headlines. In a speech to Iraqi and U.S. officials, Prime Minister Maliki said Iraqi security forces, backed by foreign nations, saved Baghdad from a siege by terrorists. He also said there are still Al-Qaeda militants left, but they are being chased. Security operations in Mason have achieved tangible gains, but some factions say laws are not being enforced even-handedly. Followers of Muqtada al-Sadr claim arrests are politically targeted. Diyala residents and tribal leaders say their province is becoming more volatile as armed groups jockey for position in advance of expected security operations in the province. Former Ireland Republic Army commander and First Deputy Minister of Northern Ireland traveled to Baghdad to promote reconciliation among Iraqis. Those are your headlines from around the region. I'm Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan.
In the fall of 2006, Sergeant Marvin Sanjurjo, a native of Huntsville, Alabama, distinguished himself in combat. Sanjurjo, with the 5th Battalion 20th Infantry Regiment, serving under the 2nd Brigade Combat Team 1st Cavalry Division at the time, was manning his Stryker vehicle's remote weapon system from inside the vehicle when his crew responded to attacks going on in the Al Hatter neighborhood. On their way to assisting their fellow soldiers, the Strykers were ambushed by 10 to 15 individuals firing at them from a 2-story house. The Strykers returned fire and quickly dismounted troops to clear the enemy firing position. At the same time the troops dismounted, Sanjurjo's weapon system failed and left the Stryker troops with no cover fire as they made their way toward the enemy. With complete disregard for his own safety, Sanjurjo climbed on top of the Stryker, exposing himself to enemy fire, and proceeded to troubleshoot the downed weapon system on the fly. He quickly brought the weapon system back online and proceeded to suppress the enemy fire until it had died down enough for the dismounted troops to move forward. Sergeant Marvin Sanjurjo's actions in the face of imminent danger saved the lives of his Stryker crewmates that day, and for his heroic efforts, he was awarded the Bronze Star with V device for Valor.
The international zone pulled out the red, white, and blue spirit as many came out to enjoy a Middle Eastern-style bazaar and play a few games. Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan has more.
The 4th of July is a time to celebrate the freedom of the United States and get a break from work to have fun with family and friends. For U.S. service members deployed to the international zone in Baghdad, this 4th of July is a little different. Although the 4th of July is a time for remembrance, U.S. personnel still were able to have some fun. MWR hosted a bazaar and offered games on the 2nd of July to give service members a break from everyday combat life. The Continental Congress adopted a resolution to sever ties with Great Britain on the 2nd of July, while the Declaration of Independence was actually approved on the 4th. Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan, Baghdad, Iraq.
A Chicago family-owned pizza restaurant wanted to show their support to the military serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. What better way to do that than to send 3,000 pizzas for the 4th of July? The idea, called Pizza for Patriots, hit Camp Victory. While some in America grilled up hamburgers and hot dogs, thousands of U.S. service members serving in Iraq and Afghanistan had pizza on the menu. Thanks to an Air Force retired master sergeant and his son in Chicago, they hooked up with their favorite Chicago pizza joint, Lou Malinotti's Pies, and sent more than 3,000 pies to the region. Service members in Camp Victory chowed down and were thankful to have a little taste of home for Independence Day. Next time on Freedom Journal Iraq, we go to Al-Assad and fly with the Marines who control the skies in the V-22 Osprey. And that wraps up this edition of our program. Be sure to log on to mnf-iraq.com, where you can learn all about the progress coalition forces are making throughout the country. If you have story ideas, we'd love to hear them. Just email us at fji@iraq.centcom.mil. From all of us here at AFN and Freedom Journal Iraq, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.